Hey everyone, Aaron here, and welcome back to the channel. We are checking back in today with our favorite Brad. We are talking, of course, of Grant Cardone's most enthusiastic Scientology recruit, Tom Cruise's #1 fan, the only Scientologist to have graduated from West Point Military Academy, Pasco County's most famous Scientologist, YouTube's cringiest Scientology promoter, and America's most interesting social experiment, the one, the only, Tampa Brad. Oh, we have missed our good friend Tampa Brad. For those of you not already familiar, Brad is a guy who joined Scientology during the pandemic after watching a bunch of Grant Cardone content and decided if Scientology was good enough for Grant Cardone, it was good enough for him. If you haven't seen my earlier Tampa Brad videos, just check out the playlist on this channel. I have a Tampa Brad playlist. I think you'll enjoy them. I've done some videos on this subject in the past of how people get recruited into Scientology through business coaching, and I'll probably do more videos on it in the future. But for now, let's jump in. Let's see what Tampa Brad has to say about Scientology has helped him expand his business. All right, Brad, let's see what you got.
Hey, what up? It's Tampa Brad, and in this video, I'm actually sitting here in my office in Tampa with this awesome brick wall behind me. I love this place. We've been here for a couple months, and we're doing a lot of shooting in front of this brick wall, and it looks just like super aesthetic, even though it's literally just like old bricks. It's crazy.
By the way, I know his name is Tampa Brad, and he works in Tampa, and I said he's Pasco County's most famous Scientologist. He doesn't live in Tampa. He just works in Tampa. He does live in Pasco County.
Anyways, in this video, I want to talk about how Scientology administrative technology has helped me to grow my business. And I'm getting up here because I want to actually show you my 7-division organizing board. So behind me, that probably looks like there's a lot going on, right? This is what's called an organizing board. It splits up the company into multiple areas that are each headed by one person. So like I'm here, my wife's here, my business partner's here, treasury, production, quality assurance, and then get new people on services, and then share the wins of the company. There's a whole big flow to this, and a big part of the organizing board is within it, there's different positions, right? Like within each area, there's different positions. That's these little boxes. Each of them represents what we call, it's a Scientology term. You've probably heard it because it's a very common business term as well. We call them hats, right? There are different hats throughout the organization, and each of those hats, when you put it on, there's a certain thing that you do, and there's a certain way that you actually wear that hat. Like the wearing of a hat is done, like there's a correct way to do it, and there's an incorrect way to do it. So think about this. Have you ever been in a situation in your company? Let's say you're a business owner, right? Or like, let's say you're just an employee, but there's somebody around you who you're like, they're not doing their job right. But there's not really it's kind of a weird situation because there's not a set standard for how you do that, maybe.
If Brad was a really good communicator, he actually might be able to turn these videos into an effective way to promote Scientology. But honestly, I just find these funny. It is amazing how Scientologists think that the L. Ron Hubbard's management technology is like this incredible thing, when all it is the bare bones, most fundamental, basic aspects of organization you could possibly imagine. So a 7-division org board is Division 1, you have HR. Division 2, you have sales. Division 3, you have accounting. Division 4, you have production or delivery. Division 5, you have quality control. And Division 6, you have basically business development. And Division 7 is just the executive division. It's sort of a redundancy of the echelon that you can see at the top of an org board. And this is bare bones, fundamental, 101. This is as basic as it gets. And yet, if you are a private practice owner, physical therapist, dentists and chiropractors are huge in Scientology. There's so many dentists and chiropractors that get into Scientology because of the business consulting groups that exist to consult those professions, and those companies are based on Scientology, and they act as recruitment arms for Scientology. I just wanted to throw that out there. He called it a 9-division org board because there is a version of the org board where there's actually 3 division 6s, 6A, 6B, and 6C. But truthfully, you just put them all into one division. So far, he's told us that the magic is that he has an organizing board that divides his business into functions. And get this, guys, the board includes job descriptions. People have jobs. And get this, guys, there's actually a right way to do a job and a wrong way to do a job. Did you know that? Like, honestly, it gets so ridiculous, and Scientologists think this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. So anyway, let's see what else he's got.
In your business. If not, that's amazing. If there is actually a set standard for how you do things, that's freaking awesome. That's amazing. But it's a Saturday, and what I'm actually doing here in the office, I'm gonna grab one of these so I can show you. What I'm actually doing is I'm actually creating I'm writing up a hat that I've been wearing that I'm gonna take off. So the first one that I wrote was this one, which is called the Estimator hat. And this contains like a bunch of stuff that I wrote, just basically like write-ups on the actual hat. You can see it's pretty thick there. It's probably like 25 pages. That's all my notes on how I successfully did that job. Now, some of it is policy and some of it people have to do, but my style of doing it, I leave in there as more of a recommendation. So there's literally a whole technology on this. It's contained in the works of L. Ron Hubbard around management and around how to organize and actually operate a...
Okay, so quick comment. You can probably see that the general idea of what he's talking about is a good idea. If you're running a business and you're hiring new people, it's a great idea to be able to hand them a pack and say, here is all of the policies and notes and advice on how to best do your job. Read it. Like, that's great. But it's not rocket science. And Scientologists act like L. Ron Hubbard reinvented the wheel with this stuff. All right, let's keep going.
The whole organization as a whole. So I just wanted to show you kind of that one little cool thing, the hats thing, because I've literally been sitting here for like a couple hours today, like writing up a hat. Actually, the one really important hat for us is the expansion piece. You know, on the far, when I look at it, it's on the far right side of the organizing board. That's what's responsible for pushing us out into the organization. And I'm writing up how to do that because we have a really high-powered person coming in who starts at the end of July, who's gonna help us to do that. This guy's a badass. And don't be surprised if you start seeing Home Love Construction on on local and national news, because that is gonna be the goal of that organization, or that piece of our organization, is to push us out to such an extreme level that we become a household name.
Home Love Construction in Tampa is going to become a household name nationwide. I promise you, when he describes someone as a badass marketing genius, this isn't someone who has a track record of success in his industry. This is someone who is well known in Scientology and uses their Scientology clout to get hired by Scientologists. I promise you that's what's happening.
That really is the goal with this business, is to create a household name around construction, improving homes, and just living better through having more aesthetic spaces, and also knowing how to take care of them. Like, that's another big part of our goal. Like, one thing that I'm working on that I'll have a physical product to show you soon is an actual construction dictionary that will allow homeowners to not be caught up in the jargon, and the jargon is like specialized language or like the acronyms or the slang of construction. A big problem that homeowners run into that I've seen since I've been doing this for 5 years is they don't know what the hell people are saying because they don't know the words. Like, literally, what is an LVL? Like, it's a beam, basically. It's a piece of wood that makes a beam. But somebody says that the LVL is $5,000 and they're like, okay, how is it $5,000? It's just 3 letters. But they have no idea what goes into it. So a big piece of that is knowing the words, trying to help with that. The bottom line of this is, the reason that I'm doing this is because I'm trying to grow my business. And I've always been trying to do that. I've always been trying to grow and expand. But the Scientology principles written out by L. Ron Hubbard are the most effective way that I've ever come across to do this. It is.
How would you know? What other ways have you come across to do this? You are, he graduated from West Point Military Academy. Then he very shortly thereafter got dishonorably discharged from the military. Then he went around the country selling patchouli oil. Then he stepped into his family's business and is trying to run it. And he's acting like he is able to tell you with authority that these are the best principles he's ever come across. The guy doesn't have a business degree. Not that I particularly care about that, but he doesn't. He actually has a degree in physics, if you can believe that. But let's take one step back. This idea idea of making sure that people understand the words of the things that they're dealing with. Again, that makes sense. But Brad is managing to misapply that information. He's not even using it in a way that makes sense. If you want, like, you don't want to have to educate. If your business is building homes and you're going out and you're doing estimates, you don't now want to have to educate the client on all of the terminology of construction. You want to make sure that your employees and your people doing estimates understand the terminology. And if they understand the terminology, then they should be smart enough not to throw a bunch of words at the customer that they don't understand. That could piss a customer off and make them feel like they don't know if they're getting hosed or whatever. You don't now want to have to hand your customer a freaking construction dictionary so that they can understand all of the specialized terminology that the estimator and the employees are using. This is, I kind of, like I said earlier, if he was a good communicator, he might be able to actually make these videos effective. He doesn't seem totally like the brightest bulb. He could actually, just using some of these basic principles because they're common sense, probably have a pretty great he could probably expand his business pretty strong if he was able to direct these efforts in an intelligent manner. Like, I sort of sympathize for him. Everyone wants their business to expand. He clearly seems excited that he thinks he's got a method to do it. But even as he's explaining it, it seems like he's going off in the wrong direction. All right, let's keep going.
It's allowed our company to go from 5 employees to 25 employees in 5 months. And by the way, we're at a rate of hiring about a person a month now after that first big explosion. Actually, we might hire 2 people this month. Never mind. I'm a little understating it. But
hiring employees does not equal business growth. He always talks about how many employees he has. I never hear him talk about how many jobs he has. You could hire all the employees that you want, and for all we know, all that's doing is making your company unprofitable. All right, what else?
That explosion is because I have a system that I can actually funnel them into. I'm looking at the org board over here. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, I know where every piece goes. I've explained to them what they do, and they can get on with their damn jobs and let me get on with my life growing the thing as a whole in a way that really, I mean, it's honestly not stressful for me. And the reason it's not stressful is because I know that I have a system that actually works. So if you're interested in a system that actually works to grow your business, message me on Instagram and I'd be happy to actually explain to you what I'm doing. And we're actually gonna be doing some meetings of business owners who are using things like this, it's called administrative technology, or admin tech for short. And it's fucking amazing, man. Like, pardon my French, but it is fucking amazing. It is the actual playbook on how you run and grow an organization in a sane, right? I'm not saying sane, I'm saying sane, like sanity. It's a sane way to grow and scale a business. If somebody's ever told you stay small because it's dangerous to go big, that's probably true for them. I don't want to say.
Who has ever told a business owner, stay small? It's dangerous to go big. This is a very Scientology thing to do, is to try and sell people on ideas based on just insane straw man arguments. By the way, do you notice, I want to talk about efficiency. The inefficiency of talking to people on YouTube and asking them to message you on Instagram. He's saying that because he turned off all of the comments on all of the videos on his entire channel because people started commenting about confidential aspects of Scientology, and Scientology told him he had to turn off the comments. So even what he's trying to do, which is use a platform that anyone can reach him on, he's got to send you to another platform just to contact him, because Scientology controls what information Scientologists are allowed to see and read on the internet, and that includes the comments section of his own videos. All right, let's keep going.
Say that it's a lie, but it's a lie, because going big is safer. Having $10 million in reserves is much safer than having $10 in reserves.
Wow.
So that's where I want to go, is 10 million, not 10. I've already got $10. I don't need $10. I need a $10 million.
We've all got $10, Brad.
For me and my family and my church and everybody, this whole organization, what if something happens and I need to help the people, who have committed their time and energy and lives to helping grow this? I mean, you might think like, oh, I've just had a job for 5 years. If you had a job for 5 years, you've dedicated your life to that thing. 70% of your life is your work. And so I want a place where people come to work and they're like, holy crap, This place is exploding. It's amazing. There's always something new happening here, and it's always growing and helping people. That's what I want. If you want something similar, Hubbard Administrative Technology is the way to do it. It is the only system that I've seen that works 100% if you use it. There's always little things that aren't addressed in other areas, and it's because they avoid certain topics. Like,
I'm sorry to keep pausing it so often, but it's like, how does Brad think any other businesses that are the giants, the behemoths, the success stories in his industry, how does he think any of those companies have managed to succeed and grow and prosper? How can the system he's talking about be the only workable system? Or the only system, it's funny, he hasn't quite yet said the system that works 100% of the time. That's coming probably, he hasn't said it yet. That is what Scientologists think. It's the only system that works 100% of the time when applied 100% correctly. And this sets up sort of a circular logic type thing where it's unfalsifiable. Because anytime it doesn't work, there's a presupposition that it wasn't applied correctly. And so therefore you can never prove that it doesn't always work. So seriously, the way Scientologists talk about this, you would think that they have no idea that any companies in the world have ever achieved success without using L. Ron Hubbard's magical management technology. Okay, let's see what else.
Like, how do you hire and fire? How do you track someone's performance? How do you actually easily put key performance indicators, KPIs, how do you put them in on people? And how do you track them easily? It's simple. I pay, I think, because we have 20 users now, $20 a month for our KPI tracking software. And the reason it's so cheap is because it isn't crazy automated. It's not some big complicated thing. It's simple. This is a simple process for how to run and grow and actually profit off of an organization. The other thing that most people might not...
Guys, literally all he's talking about is a statistic software made by a company. I think it's called Master Tech. All the Scientology business consulting companies use it. The software just allows you to put numbers onto graphs. That's all he's talking about.
I realize is, like, if you read about Scientologists who are giving these, massive donations to the church or whatever, the reason they're giving the donations is because A, they want to, like, they built their whole lives around growing something so that they can help the thing that helped them. And two, they, like, there's, one guy that I can think of who made I heard about this. He made like a crazy 9-figure donation to the church. But he started with something like a couple dollars. And this dude went from, when he became a Scientologist, he had a couple bucks, and he wound up, he made like a $7 donation. I know that's the rocks number. I don't think it's actually 7, but he made like a couple dollar donation to the church. And then he grew this business, and now he's doing a 9-figure donation. Like, 9 figures, by the way, is like hundreds of millions, like ridiculous. And he did that by using that exact technology that I just talked to you about.
Do you also want to give away several $100 million? Become a Scientologist today.
And so a lot of people get the cause and effect on rich Scientologists backwards. They think that Scientology somehow is like trying to like recruit rich people or something like that. It's so ridiculous. I'm not rich. I'm gonna be fucking rich as fuck. And like, we're already getting, like, I can already see the whole like machine turning, and I'm like, here comes the money, let's go. Because I'm just gonna reinvest it and make it even bigger and make it a more fun game. But what people don't realize is Scientology gives you the tools to become incredibly wealthy, like one of the wealthiest people on this planet, with ease, because you can be so organized and get so...
With ease. Then why do so many Scientologists go bankrupt? Why do they cash in their retirement accounts? Why do they take out second and third mortgages? Why do they lose their homes? Why do they go so deeply into debt they can't even service the debt? Why are there Scientologist-run businesses specifically dedicated to doing debt consolidation to service all of the Scientologists who are massively in debt? If you can become a mega gazillionaire with ease just by being in the vicinity and breathing in L. Ron Hubbard's management technology, Brad has he's gone deep on the Kool-Aid.
So much done. The wealthy people on the planet just get a lot done. If you've ever noticed, they're just like highly productive. They just do an insane amount of things in any given day. So they've got the same 24 hours. So how are they getting more done? Better organization. What some people would call super organization. If you want super organization, that's what that is. Oh, and by the way, those are the graphs. I can actually show you those real quick. these are the, look, my stool over. These are the graphs of, I don't want to show you the names, but these are the actual graphs of what people are doing. Like these are their stats. Like let me try to find somebody who's not, here, I'll just like cover this one up. See, like that's an actual like, I don't know if you can see in the video, there's like actual stats. That one's bad, that's a no.
You have actual numbers on actual graphs pasted to an actual wall? Where can I get some of that?
Anyways, the point is that the Hubbard Administrative Technology System is available for you to use. Literally, there are free courses on it online. But the best book to start with, if you want to start learning this, if you want the super, super, super basic principles of this, the book Problems of Work. Oh wow, I don't have one in here. I'm surprised. Anyways, the book Problems of Work is the best place to start. And then you can also go to, there's a organization called WISE, W-I-S-E, and that is a secular, which means non-religious, right? It's a secular organization that actually was created by Scientology to help business owners, because this is sane. This is a stable work environment. There's people who are gonna work here for 20 years. That's what you want. Like, you don't want to have to be worried about job security. But if the company is not expanding and growing, you should be worried about your job security because it's not secure. So what we're doing is we're creating a stable, expanding organization where people feel secure and where people can actually lock in, commit, and do an amazing job. And that's exactly what we're getting. I mean, we are going to be, I'll just let you see it in the news. I'll let you see it in the news what's going to happen. But it's going to be the greatest construction organization on earth because of the proper use of that technology. That's the sauce there,
Guys, do you think he really believes this? Because I promise you he does. He thinks the fact that he has a chart on the wall that lists out the functions of an organization, graphically depicts more or less how a new client flows through the organization, and the fact that he has the ability to track the production of the people who work for him, those components alone are going to allow him to become the greatest company on earth. I've been doing my best to push back against or to correct or fix the idea that only stupid people can get involved in Scientology. But guys like Brad aren't doing me any favors. When you've got Brad and you've got Grant Cardone and you've got Michaela Arrington out there as like some of the main people talking about Scientology on the internet, it's very hard to tell people or convince people that you don't have to be stupid to get into Scientology. The truth is there are a lot of intelligent people into Scientology. Maybe those guys are just intelligent enough not to talk about it on the internet. And so we have sort of a bad sample that we're working with here. Having a chart and graphs, it's better than nothing, but it's bare bones minimum. You're just at square zero if those are the things you're getting excited about. Okay, I think he's almost done.
In 10 years, when people are like, how did you do it? I'm gonna be like, what I made a video about on Saturday in 2022, the org board. It's basically how the org board and hats, and there's a lot more to it than that. But anyways, if you're interested in it, you can message me on Instagram on Tampa Brad there. You can pick up the book Problems of Work. I'll put the link in the description. And then you can also go to the WISE website. It might be wise.org or wise.net or something like that. Just search up WISE. Just do Hubbard WISE and just go to the actual WISE website, and you can look at what a WISE membership actually is and what it actually gives you. It's like $50 a month or something ridiculous like that. And then it gives you access to a library of materials to start actually using this in your business. And then the other thing that you get with it as well is you get one of these, which is what's called the Model of Admin Know-How Workbook.
So it's really weird that he's suggesting people to contact WISE. WISE exists to make sure that Scientology business owners are giving their fair share of money to Scientology. And when you have these Scientology business consulting groups like Singer and MGE and Survival Strategies and Measurable Solutions, these consulting groups have to pay 10 or 15% of their gross revenue to Scientology. WISE exists to make sure that those companies are paying their fair share. Whys also exist to settle business disputes between Scientologists and to keep that kind of noise out of actual Scientology organizations. Scientologists aren't allowed to sue each other. So Whys exist to kind of act as a judicial component to resolve these things so that they don't wind up in the courts and they don't wind up with actual Scientology orgs actually having to deal with all that. And when you sign up with Whys, you're agreeing as a part of the agreements that you sign to not sue other Whys members. Telling people to join Whys in a video, it's a little strange. I don't quite get it. All right, let's watch the last couple minutes here.
Book, and this thing's pretty thick, and basically this walks you through how to actually implement things like the organizing board, hats, statistics. By the way, just so you know, that is called the Organization Information Center. That all those graphs on the wall, that's what that actually is. We need to make it a little prettier. We got a cork board coming that we're gonna start pinning them on because, you know, the paper's folding and falling off the wall is not too aesthetic. The org board's nice though, I'm happy with that. Anyways, if you need help with this, I can definitely help point you in the right direction. I don't have time to help you personally, but I know people whose life mission is to help people to get more organized. And so if you're looking for that, definitely message me on Instagram. I'd be happy to help you. I know people who are literally chomping at the bit wanting to help you specifically, and they have the know-how and willingness to do it. So message me there. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button. It does help me out quite a bit. And I look forward to seeing you in the next vid. If you want to hear about something that I'm doing in relation to, you know, my business or something like that, please send me a message on Instagram and I'd be happy to make a video about it. Trolls need not apply. I will delete your message. And other than that, I appreciate your attention. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.
Brad, I took that personally. So this video right now has 640 views. He's up to 766 subscribers. I do believe that I am responsible for, at this point, for half of Brad's subscribers and over half of his views. Some have commented on my channel like, hey, all you're doing is giving him more promotion. You know, don't give him more attention. And I'm like, you know what? If watching my videos about Brad's videos interests you in Scientology and gets you to join Scientology, then you deserve absolutely everything that comes your way. I don't have any concerns about someone stumbling into Scientology like, oops, I fell and tripped and I accidentally got interested. Like, I'm not worried about that at all. I find his stuff to be entertaining. One of the reasons I love his videos, it gives all of us a perfect opportunity to get a glimpse through Brad into the window of Scientology craziness. He gives us an opportunity to see what are some of the things that Scientologists actually believe about their own group, their own organization. What do they believe about Scientology as a belief system? What do they truly believe Scientology can do for them? What do they actually think the unique selling proposition is of Scientology compared to anything else out there, whether we're talking spiritually, religiously, or business-wise, I guess. So I really do hope Brad keeps putting up more content. As long as he does, I'll keep talking about it. All right, everyone, that's all I have. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all of you who watch until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.